Welcome back to building a house every day in Minecraft for 30 days. Today we're on day 30, the last and final day of this challenge. I've built lots of houses, lots of cool houses, and lots of different kind of houses and experimentation. If you're interested in some of those houses, check out this playlist annotation that I have of all the houses and builds I've made. Today we're going to make a medieval lumber mill, and this is going to be a practice of a design of a lumber sawmill that I may or may not build in the Surpass Limits World. The Surpass Limits World is a survival let's play world that I have where I'm, you guessed it, trying to surpass my limits. My own limits, not anybody else's limits, in building and a lot of other things in Minecraft. So yesterday I made a windmill and today I'm making a lumber sawmill because those two type of buildings I feel like would go well in the world, especially for medieval style. So that is what I was trying to practice on this day, the last and final day of this challenge. And this is heavy on dark oak. This build is heavy on dark oak, I will just warn you. We're using mushroom stems for the white parts of the build and having some deep slate cobble for, I think it's deep slate cobble, on that bottom to have a nice foundation. And then now we're making the top part of this house. Well, it's partially a house and partially the sawmill. I imagine a lumberjack or the owner of this sawmill would live on the side here. And then I am making this little angle and I had to figure out how I wanted to do it. Did I want to use stairs? Did I want to use slabs? And I also had to figure out if I wanted to do it out from the wall or a part of the wall. Eventually I do it out from the wall because I wanted to have it more of a 3D effect and not be so flat for these walls. And I'm just working on that, and then I put that also on the other side, and it's two slabs and two stairs in different variations of direction. And then we're going to add more columns of the stripped dark oak to further get that 3D effect and have it protruded out from this wall so it's not so flat, or at least it doesn't feel so flat to me. And we just go around and extend that out. That's what we're doing right here. And I'm just trying to make sure everything's looking right. On the corner I wasn't sure how to do it, if I was going to add a wall or how I was going to extrude it and expand it and make it look good. I add those stairs and trapdoors to further make it feel like a pillar there, and I'm just trying to figure out what design I want to do for those blocks in the corner that are just kind of there. Eventually I just think I decide to add fences, but I'm not exactly sure. And then we are going to be working on the roof now. And the roof with this actually has wood on the sides for the outline, and then I use mud brick stairs and mud brick blocks to make a not so orderly roof, because too orderly the roof wouldn't honestly look good and it will just look pretty flat and all the colors would blend together, because especially with this build it is really heavy on dark oak. I feel like I probably should have done some other variations of blocks, like maybe some with the mushroom stems, maybe done quartz or calcite diorite in there, and then with the dark oak logs put in some dark oak logs instead of dark oak strip logs for the whole build. So now we're actually building the roof here, and this is like the gable part of the roof, and then we're adding in this top, or this main part, which is going to be a dormer, and going to have a light that will feel like someone's home in the attic. And this really does add a lot to this roof. It's a little detail, but it adds a lot to a roof to make it not so plain. And I'm just going around trying to figure out a style of design I want for this window that looks good. Eventually I use Axiom to clone this over to the other side, because it's a lot easier to clone it than remake it on the other side and try to figure out what it is looking like proportion wise. Cloning it is just a lot easier. So eventually I do put it on the other side and add in blocks of mud brick blocks in these different roofs to actually break these roofs up, to not make them so flat or so, an angle or organized hill. So eventually I'll get to that, but right now I'm experimenting with trying to get more dark outline in there, and I was like, no. And then I add mushroom stems actually to the back here because I wanted to have it more 3D and make it feel like there's a separation from the details of the wall and columns so that's what I was doing there. And then now we're actually going to be building the top part of the roof in the sawmill area. So I'm using cobblestone and polished andesite stairs, and I really do like how that came out, using some trapdoors there underneath. And then now I'm just going around at fixing little details, messing around a little bit. And this is where I actually add those blocks in there to break up that roof so it's not so, an angle organized hill, and it actually has some texture, some broken up, I don't know, it just looks better that way in this build. I honestly could have also added mud in there, packed mud, and that might have worked, but I didn't at the time. Then I add some lights to the wall here using those redstone lamps, and this adds a lot to the build, so it's not just windows everywhere, and it gives something else to look at. Some more details to the build is always good. You can over detail, but it's better to over detail and bring it back than under detail and have to figure out what details to add in there. And I feel like more often than not I under detail and then have to figure out what details to add in. So then I'm adding some crates where maybe there was some storage with the barrels, and then that's the sawmill right there, using the stone cutters and trapdoors to hide the stone cutters design, so you just see the actual animation of the stone cutter saw blade there. That's like an oak pile that is ready to be shipped out, and then this is a whole nother oak pile that's ready to be shipped out, maybe by a crane. And then we're working on a few other things like building a custom tree. I am not really proud of this tree. I felt like it looks a little odd and a little forced, I guess. Not forced, but like pushed in. It needs to be bigger, and I moved forward, but I was limited on space because of how I made this plot of land this small. And then I add grass around to give it some more life to it, and eventually add an armor stand to simulate a person actually pushing this log, or will be pushing this log into the saw mill or the saw blade, so it can get cut up and ready for the next customer. I think that is going to, and that adds a lot to the build, that if I was going to add this into the Surpass Limits World, I would definitely put that in there. And that's pretty much the build. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Bye.